Alright, fifth pin from the future here. A little more enlightened now after recording some of this. There's some things I spoke about in this video, and after recording it and sitting on it and editing this for a couple days and listening to myself talk about it, I realized that some of what I had talked about had a little bit more relevance than what I had thought in the beginning. I'm making this video with genuine care and concern for Milestone and the people that play their games. I've been playing this series since the very first game, and it feels like more and more people develop a dislike for the Milestone Monster Energy Supercross games and the MXGP games, and I think some of the things addressed here can help bring back the community for this series. So I'm probably going to add some more stuff in at the end of this video and maybe into the beginning, but mostly the end, talking about the fact that we need to have replays and the importance of that. But just bear with me. Try to watch all the way to the end. Like the video if you like it, but most importantly, put in the comments whether you agree with my points, if there's any points that you'd like to add that maybe Milestone could benefit from and we could benefit from if they've actually listened to us and put these things in the game. And we'll get to it, I guess. So the first things I want to talk about kind of all fit into one category, and that's customization. Like a lot of games, especially like motocross games right now, they thrive on customization, and like games like MX Simulator and MX Bikes, they survive because other players are able to bring things into the game to give all of their items, like their helmets, their gear, their bikes. It gives them an outlet to express themselves. The first thing is I'm going to talk about the helmet editor. It was an awesome thing to add to the game, but it left a lot to be desired because you could only edit the Milestone helmet. Maybe give us more Milestone helmet models at least, because I know that not everybody liked the look of that Milestone helmet. That helmet editor, though it was a good move, it was kind of useless to me because the only thing that you could play with was something that I didn't think was very attractive in the game to begin with. So I think I would add more models or give us the ability to add our graphics to a helmet that we actually like the Fox V3 helmet or the Fly Formula or something like that. Because I know a lot of people would much rather run those helmets and have them look the way that they want them to look rather than have that ugly Milestone one, but then, you know, put all kinds of work into that. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, my graphics cool, but my helmet, I don't know if I care for it so much. And the second thing that I want to talk about is the sticker editor. I think this could be utilized better. Right now, you can do a lot with it. I think the space that they give you to work in is incredibly limited, though. One thing they should do that they could do a lot better is give you more room to work with. They don't necessarily have to give us more layers, but I think if you can reshape the canvas or at least zoom in on it, that would make a significant difference. And then another thing that I want them to add to that, I think they should add like a marketplace to the game for the people that spend all this time putting their creative efforts into making a sticker or going back to the helmet. If they're putting all kinds of time into putting a helmet livery into the game, you should be able to like market it in the game. Like obviously not for real money, but for your credits. You know, you earn all these credits, but once you get the bike and the gear and the stuff that you want, there's really no reason to keep earning credits. But if you implement like a marketplace into the game, then there's an outlet for you to spend those credits. And then there's also a need for you to earn those credits because you're going to want something that another creator in the game has put their time into. If you can give people a creative outlet and then a way to fuel the game through being creative, that's going to add to the longevity of the game. I'd like to talk about like potentially adding the ability to do your own liveries in the game, to do your own graphics. I think when people saw that you could do helmet graphics, like, okay, well, we can do this. Why can't we do our own stickers yet? Why can't we do our own whole bike graphic sets? Like you've already shown that you can put this into the game for the helmets, And maybe putting the helmet editor was Milestone's way of testing it to see that if they allowed people to do that, how well their servers would be able to handle it when every player is loading into the game with a custom helmet. But I don't think that worked out the way that they probably intended to, if that was what they were doing, because not too many people were interested in that helmet itself. Something like that would go such a long way, especially for the console players, because they don't have the ability to mod the games like we do on PC. Getting away from personalization a little bit, but still in the aspect of customization, I think we need to address custom track building. It's kind of a thing that people love about the game, but Milestone keeps messing it up in one way or another, whether it's removing features or just not including a feature at all. I think there's some things that we haven't seen yet that people have been wanting to get in the game. There's things about custom tracks that kind of make them hard to enjoy. Tough blocks are irritating as it is. If you clip one, it messes you up quite a bit. But they are absolutely devastating in custom tracks. And it's not a matter of you're getting too close to the edge of the track, oh, you clip a tough block. It's more the fact that the tough blocks aren't on the same plane as the race surface. The track tapers off before you get to the tough blocks. So when you start getting close to the edge of the track, you almost get stuck in a rut. You get stuck off to the side of the track, but between the tough blocks and the edge of the track. To me, that's unacceptable. That's not something you should have to face when you're playing a custom track. You don't have to deal with that when you're playing the stock tracks. They put the tough blocks on the same plane as the racing surface. So they need to fix that. And then the next thing with the tough blocks is that they're too close together. It makes it a major pain when you're trying to get back onto the track and those tough blocks are so close together that you can't make a clean entry back onto the track. You're more likely to crash re-entering than you are to make it onto the track and continue racing. You can't go off the track. You're better off aiming for one of the track workers so that you get a reset than you are to try to get back onto the track. That's some of the biggest problematic stuff that I've dealt with on custom tracks, and it's the main reason why I don't like to play them. You will constantly face the dumbest crashes because of the tough blocks not being on an even surface. And if you do go off a track, say you hit a jump and you end up, jumping a little bit over to the left or the right, and then you end up off the track, you can't get back on the track, at least not cleanly. You're either going to wipe out or you're going to clip a tough block and lose a lot of speed, or you got to aim for one of those track workers and hope you get a reset in a good spot. Just playing custom tracks for 5 minutes, you'll recognize that it's a problem. I can't speak to the building itself. I'm not really into the track building. Maybe that's a testament to the fact that the track builder might not be that good. I know that there's things that people miss and things that people want for the track editor. I just don't know what they are. While we're on the topic of the custom tracks and stuff, I also want to address the fact that they made it kind of difficult to download and like tracks. I understand that, like, if you're browsing custom tracks, like say you're playing single player and you go through the single race thing and you're selecting a custom track, you can like and you can download from that menu. But when you're playing in a multiplayer lobby, there's not a way for you to like that track or download that track right then and there, like post race or whatever. And I think that should be an option. And I believe in one of the earlier Monster Energy Supercross games, you could like it at least. And then by being able to like it when you're in the post race, it makes it easier for you to find it. You can go into a tab that says, like tracks. And then you can go to that list and you can download the ones that you like. So that way when it comes time to vote for a track in another public lobby, you can find the track that you're looking for right away instead of having to leave, the lobby, go into the frickin' custom track list and hope that you remember the name so you can find the thing, because you're not able to like it and you're not able to download it from post racing. It may help if they add something to where you can go back and look at the races that you've done previously and maybe keep a log, So that way you can go back and view your performances and be like, okay, well, in this public lobby that you did, you know, from this time to this time, you raced this track, placed here, raced this track, placed here. And then since it's telling you what the track is, you can just click on it from right there in your post race log, whatever. You can click on that track there and be like, okay, cool, I want to like this track, or I want to dislike this track, it was garbage, whatever it may be. But give us some kind of outlet to make it easier to navigate that stuff, because right now it's kind of clunky. And another thing that I want to speak about, the first person camera. And I know a lot of people, you don't use it, and that's fair enough, but maybe there's a reason for it, and it's not because you just don't like first person view. Maybe there's a problem with it, and I'd like to address the ones that I've experienced. You can get really wonky reactions to things. When you land from things, occasionally it'll totally discombobulate you because it really makes you lose your equilibrium. And yes, you're still going in the same direction and stuff like that. But say it happens when you're coming out of a rhythm section going into a corner and you don't know exactly how you're lined up for it because your camera's moving all kinds of stupid directions. Occasionally your camera will move down into a position where it's almost like your chin is sitting on your thigh. Like you'll be coming into the corner and you're looking down underneath the handlebar forward. In all of my years of racing, I can't say that has ever happened to me. I've never even been close. The first person camera, though it's not bad, those little goofy movements really aggravate you, especially when you're getting into the competitive scene. And that's my preferred camera, the first person camera. And I know one of the dudes on my team also runs first person camera. You shouldn't be at a disadvantage because you like to use a certain viewing angle. And I think there needs to be some features to accommodate the people that do use those different camera angles. Like a field of view for the first person camera, just having the ability to change that would help drastically. Because right now I feel that camera sits far too close forward and sits way too low. I know when I'm racing, and maybe it's just because I'm 6'2", but I don't really see the handlebars when I ride unless I'm really leaning back. I just wish I could raise my camera in first person and then also bring it a little further back, because I feel like I'm like right up over the bars, but yet still able to see the bars. So then if you decide that, you know, Monster Energy Supercross isn't going to be an annual release thing anymore, instead, you know, we've decided that we found the physics that people wanted from us. You know, we've got a marketplace now, so we don't necessarily have to go get a license from all these different graphic companies. These guys want to make their own stuff. We don't necessarily need to go that route anymore. So let's just put templates in the game. Let people do whatever they want with them. Let them change the color of their plastics. There's a lot of things that you could do, you know, not just having the marketplace, but opening up options for personalization. Big tangent, I know, but it's just like, just think about what you could do with that and how long that would last. And then by doing so, you have a game that's not being released annually anymore because you got people playing the game longer. They can focus their efforts on the game that they've already put out. Now the workload's lightened. Now they're just adding little things here and there, doing little tweaks. You know, now they got time to create a structure for another game instead of every game coming out feeling like it was rushed and unfinished. Find physics that work for the majority of people. Add a marketplace to the game for the people that are creative and can put something out there that people want to spend their credits on. Then people will have new ways to express themselves through their personalization. People being able to, you know, get stickers to slap on their helmets or on their bikes, or liveries from the marketplaces, or making their own for themselves or for their teams or whatever it may be. Adding, you know, extra race hosts so that you can have more than one big content creator streaming the races. So in my original recording, I mentioned Milestone adding a replay system to the game. I scrapped that footage because I wanted to redo that. Looking back on it, now I see how much more useful that system can be. So I wanted to take a chance to go over that a little more deeply in how it can be used and how helpful it can be, and also the creative outlets it creates by adding that into the game. There's some things that replays can be used for that could be incredibly useful for esports and also for content creators. The players that can't record during the esports, they can save those replays at the end of the match, at the end of the races. They can save those. Those can be used to go back through and clip in case there's any point in the game where somebody wanted to protest a rider for riding dirty, or somebody managed to capture a rider that found a track cut. You can go back and hold those people accountable. That would be so helpful for the people that are competing in this game. But then there's also a fun aspect to that replay system. If you were to put it in there and allow people to save a replay, allow people to go from rider to rider, look at multiple different angles in the same way that the replay system in War Thunder works, that also allows people to do creative things with like YouTube edits where they can take clips, they can record all the riding from different perspectives, they can add music to it, add their filters and effects and stuff like that, and actually have some really quality videos of the gameplay, or maybe just recordings of the gameplay. But it adds an awesome dynamic to the game that kind of shows it in a perspective that people are like, this looks so good. Like, I'm tempted to get this game just because you can do that. Like, I'm more interested in what I could do making videos with this game than I am actually playing it. And that just adds, some diversity to the game itself. Whether you're racing just to be competitive, racing casually, or if you're just putting a bike out on the track so that you can get some footage to make a video out of it, that would be such a useful thing to have. All right, ladies and gents. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching all this. I genuinely want to know if there's anything in this video that you found interesting, anything that you'd like to help back up my points on in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. I'd love to hear it. It would be incredibly insightful for Milestone if they ever find this video to go through, read what people have to say, whether they agree with the points that were covered here, or if you have any points to add to it, go off in the comments. Or if you just want to tear me to shreds, or if there's anything you think that I did well here, let me know that stuff too. I'm curious. Thanks for watching. Consider liking, subscribing, maybe bell notification. It goes a long way and it means a lot to me. So thanks for watching.